One of the most powerful forces in fine dining is a tire company. The same brand that decides if a restaurant is worth a 2-hour drive also makes the tires on the Mars rover. $20 billion. 170 countries. 200 million tires a year. And it started with a punctured bicycle. And along the way, Michelin invented something the world ignored for 27 years. 1889, two brothers, André and Edouard Michelin, inherit their grandfather's rubber factory in rural France. At this point, they're making rubber balls, brake pads, and random components. The business is barely alive. But a cyclist arrives at the factory with a punctured tire. It takes him 3 hours to fix it. The tire is literally glued to the wheel. Edouard watches the whole thing and thinks, there has to be a better way. Therefore, he invents the detachable pneumatic tire, removable, repairable, fixable in under 15 minutes. But nobody believes it'll survive a real race. Therefore, Michelin enters the longest bicycle race in the world, Paris to Brest and back, 1,200 kilometers. Their rider, Charles Tarrant, wins. Michelin doesn't just have a product anymore, they have a story. And they're about to get very, very good at telling it. But here's where it gets weird, because their next move wasn't building more tires. It was inventing one of the most recognizable characters in advertising history, 1894. André Michelin walks through a trade exhibition and notices a stack of tires. He points at them and says, that looks like it could be a man. 4 years later, Michelin launches Bibendum, the Michelin Man, a giant mascot made entirely out of tires, raising a glass, smiling, completely bizarre, and somehow unforgettable. Over time, Bibendum becomes one of the most recognized brand mascots in human history, ranked above Ronald McDonald, above the Marlboro Man. But Bibendum wasn't just branding, it was strategy. Michelin realized something nobody else understood yet. The more people drove, the faster tires wore out. And the faster tires wore out, the more money Michelin made. So, instead of just selling tires, Michelin started building reasons to travel. Maps, road signs, travel guides, entire driving routes, because every kilometer driven meant future tire sales. And that obsession with getting people on the road accidentally created something that would eventually control the restaurant industry. 1900. France has only 3,000 cars. That's it. So Michelin publishes a free guidebook. Hotels, petrol stations, mechanics, how to repair tires. The entire purpose is simple. Get people driving. Sell more tires. But by 1920, André Michelin discovers people using the guide to prop up workbenches in garages. He's furious. And he says something famous. People only respect what they pay for. Therefore, Michelin relaunches the guide as a paid product. And this time, they add restaurant reviews. Then they invent a rating system. 1 star, worth a stop. 2 stars, worth a detour. 3 stars, worth a special journey. And just like that, the Michelin star is born. A tire company suddenly becomes the highest authority in fine dining. Today, a Michelin star can transform a chef's entire career overnight. Losing one can destroy restaurants. Some chefs have returned their stars because of the pressure. All of that power came from two brothers trying to sell more tires. But Michelin's empire was getting much bigger than restaurants, because the next thing they built changed the entire tire industry forever. By the early 1900s, Michelin dominates France. So they expand. Britain, America, Europe, then aviation. Michelin tires end up on aircraft, military planes, and eventually motorsport. Formula One becomes a massive proving ground. Every innovation from racing feeds back into normal road tires. The message is powerful. If it survives Formula One, it can survive your commute. But none of this is the real reason Michelin became untouchable. That comes in 1946. When Michelin invents something the world completely ignores. 1946. Michelin patents the radial tire. It lasts longer, uses less fuel, Handles better, runs cooler. By almost every metric, it's superior. But most of the industry laughs at it, especially American manufacturers. For decades, nobody wants to switch. Therefore, Michelin waits. Then 1973 happens. The oil crisis. Fuel prices explode. Suddenly, efficiency matters more than ever, and radial tires become the perfect solution. Michelin had been right for 27 years. Now the entire world knows it. By the 1980s, radial tires become the global standard. Michelin doesn't just compete anymore. They define the industry itself. Today, Michelin isn't really a tire company. It's infrastructure. 130,000 employees, 67 factories, operations across 170 countries, tires for cars, trucks, aircraft, space exploration, even the Mars rover. They own mapping services, travel systems, restaurant ratings, and they're now developing airless tires, sustainable materials, and 3D printed tire technology. Meanwhile, Bibendum still exists. The same smiling tire mascot from 1894, still recognized around the world, still representing one of the most powerful industrial brands on Earth. What makes Michelin different is that they never chased trends. They built infrastructure, road systems, travel systems, rating systems, standards. They became the invisible layer underneath how people move through the world. And once they owned the infrastructure, they owned the industry. All because of one punctured bicycle in 1889. That's not just a tire company. That's an empire.